It's not every day that you get the Jay-Z and Beyonce of the internet on a podcast. Have I gone a bit too far there?
That's a big intro.
That's a big intro. Okay. Guys, Ali, Claire, welcome to, and Evie, I should say as well, welcome to The Savage Situation.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I love seeing you both.
We've not seen you in a while, so it's actually a really nice catch-up.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Things good?
Things are very good. Yeah.
Busy, but good.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to pack in as many trips as we can at the moment. So we're definitely busy, but it's good to be busy.
Well, something that's happened since I've last seen you is you got engaged.
Yes.
Look at that sparkler as well. And to celebrate, you know what I went and did? Got you some vegan celebratory cupcakes.
Oh,
look at those.
What a guy.
Look at those bad boys.
What a guy.
I know. Our
Evie,
pleasure.
not
I mean,
for you,
look
Baba.
at that. I mean, you've got obviously Evie's now really looking at those. She's loving those.
If any of those are survived by the end of the podcast, I'd be surprised.
See, I thought about this. This could go like proper ASMR, couldn't it? Like Ali and Claire do eating cupcakes live. That could be quite a thing.
I want to eat them, but I don't want to eat them
yeah.
on camera.
I'll just get
crumbs
everywhere.
I mean, I think they like carrot cake flavour and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully that's
Thank
fine.
you so much.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Like there was a Whole Foods around the corner. They have everything.
I did see a Whole Foods bag outside. I'm like, I really want to go to Whole Foods. You knew.
It's a vegan paradise.
Yeah,
it's
very
It is.
Guys, you got engaged. I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us about how it happened. Where was it?
You planned it all, so you can explain it.
Come on,
and
Ali.
I
Give us the goss.
So it was almost exactly on the day our 4-year dating anniversary. So we started dating at E3 in LA 4 years prior. And we were like, okay, we're not going to go E3 this year. We want to do like a big holiday, just us. So that was the premise of the trip. So Claire knew we were going away. We decided on Bali, and then the rest was in my court, obviously, to try and sort this out without Claire knowing.
No pressure.
No pressure, no. So the one thing I always say is that we knew we both wanted it filmed and like photographs. Obviously, we do YouTube videos, so there's that extra pressure of capturing it, not just the moment, but capturing it. How do you capture an engagement and not give away that there is an engagement? So luckily, I had this team on board that helped me out with that. But as we left, I had bought a vlog camera for the trip. And I think that kind of like set alarm bells, not alarm bells ringing, but kind of like Claire being like, oh, I think something's going to happen. Yeah. But this was by accident. I forgot all the batteries for the vlog camera. So when I was like, oh, I forgot the batteries for the camera, Claire was like, well, I guess the proposal's not happening then because there's no way of filming it.
Classic Ali forgetting the batteries.
Exactly.
I mean, unbelievable.
It does happen quite a lot, to be fair, but that kind of threw you off. And then, we had an amazing time. And halfway through the holiday, pretended we had like this nice dinner at 5 p.m., which we did have a nice dinner. It just wasn't at 5 p.m. The engagement was happening at 5 p.m. So I pretended that my card wasn't working and I had to go to the reception and sort it out. I left. I basically got ready and stood there waiting for you to come because someone knocked on your door about 10 minutes later and there was a little trail. Then you jumped on a golf cart and went to like this helipad where everything was
like glossing over how much of a mess have I made of things, so thank you for that. So we had a person looking after us in Bali called Yuda, and he came and knocked on the door and he's like, here's the first part of the clue, you need to follow this trail. I just burst into tears.
I forgot there was kind of like a quest to it. It wasn't just walk this way. It was like work out where to go next.
Okay, so it's cryptic. I like that.
Yeah, it was cryptic, but I was far too emotional for cryptic. So I ran inside and just like literally went to the makeup counter and poured it all into a bag because I'm like, I'm going to need this. Brought this bag with me, and then there was stairs to get out of where we were staying, the villa. I just fell down them, tore my dress.
Brilliant. I mean, no batteries, torn dress.
It was just
great
such
start.
A
It was going well.
Yuda went off to go and like, he's like, follow the trail. And I just started trying to follow him. And he's like, I'm not the trail's this way. I totally missed all the clues. I was just crying, walking around reception, being like, am I supposed to be here? So someone like came and like claimed me and like put me in a golf buggy and was like, off you go, it's your proposal.
The funny thing is, so initially, like the whole thing was organized quite in a very short time frame. And initially, they were suggesting we would do the proposal on like this big lawn area, but that's where everyone eats from the hotel. And I'm like, I don't really want to do it in front of people. I want to have our own space. So then I sorted out this helipad that wasn't being used. It was amazing. But Claire, because she got the clues wrong, went to the lawn in front of everyone anyway, crying, being like, where do I go? And everyone's just looking at her like, what's going on?
One of the clues was like written on a picture of Evie. So I started looking for Evie.
Written on your
brain,
dog.
So there's loads of pictures and you turn them over to make the message of being like, this is where you go. But she only turned over like 2 and it's just like, I've got to go find Evie.
So I was looking for Evie in Bali. Like at the time it made total sense. And I'm like, okay, he's flown Evie over. She's the next clue. She's going to tell me where to go.
Now just disappointed
And
you
that
couldn't
was
fly
just
Evie.
stupid.
You're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Your dress is a bit torn. You're crying. I mean, it's an emotional thing anyway.
Yeah, it was so emotional. I was just...
Is there a part of it as well? You're thinking, okay, this is being filmed for a wedding, like for an engagement video as well. I need to compose myself. I need to kind of like be cool. Like
you were super composed, but it's funny because I'm usually a little bit more of the rational one. You can sometimes be more of the emotional one. It was totally the opposite way around. I just completely...
One of us had to keep it together, so that fell on my shoulders.
He
So I was
was in
like,
some video
must
mode.
not cry.
Yeah, I was
But
gone.
I mean, having watched the video, it looked amazing. Like, I mean, of all the places, Bali. You had the ocean, like on a cliff, like a cliff top, wasn't
Yes,
it? Like,
yeah.
Oh, it looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it went well, and that's the main thing.
You did
Despite
good.
all of those
You did
things.
good.
I'm so pleased for you. It's amazing. And I can't
Thank
wait.
you so much.
When's the stag do? I'm inviting myself
Yes.
now. Where are we going now? Where are we going?
That's the question. Like,
Okay.
when's the stag do? When's the hen do? When's the wedding? And like all of that still being, it's in the
been
very
worked
early
out.
stages
Yeah.
of organisation. So nothing to say yet, really.
Logistics is the stuff that really gets
Yes,
you. It can
yeah.
take so much time.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff because you want to get the perfect balloons, the perfect looking confetti,
The right
perfect-
napkins.
the right napkins.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, how do we fold the
Flowers and-
napkins?
Yeah,
There are so
exactly.
many things to think about.
Yeah.
So, but it's amazing. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thank you.
I'll wait for my stag do invite in the.
Don't worry, it's all sorted.
Thanks,
Adam's
brother.
coming, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Because we're dressed the same now, so we're pretty much the same person.
We
anyway.
could go on our stag do right now.
Well, how has this happened?
I don't know.
I think we shop at the same place. Like,
Great style, that's
Yeah.
what I can say. Yeah.
you're my idol, so I'm wearing the same thing as you. You're my idol. But I mean, obviously, guys, Savage Situation. We're talking a lot about like your life in games as well, outside of engagements and such. I mean, this gaming is obviously a huge part of your life. You both kind of play games, obviously for your channels. I was looking at views earlier on channels and things. Just get some context here. Do you regularly look at these kind of like how like the statistics of your channels and how much
like
it kind of-
total views.
Yeah, like total views.
No.
I
Right. so-
used to every day, but now it's something we just kind of leave alone.
Okay, okay. So between you, you're edging close to 5 billion. You 5 billion.
It's like Ali, and then I'm like the icing on the top. Here's my little bit there.
You'll
Honestly,
still count, they're just
you think about it,
important.
there's 7.5 billion people in the world. Pretty
Yeah.
much everyone in the world has seen one of your videos
I've
at one time or
almost
another.
forced everyone in the world to watch one of my
Yeah.
videos.
Well, when we were in Bali, I've got cousins in Indonesia, and
Yeah.
they both absolutely they watched both our videos, and they were just like, "Wow,
Well, your
this is so
cousins
cool."
knew about us before they knew they were related to us.
Yeah, they
To
were
you.
cousins that we found out about fairly recently, but they knew about us first.
Cousins you found out like new cousins that just popped up. You were
Yeah,
like,
Yes,
oh, hi.
just
yeah,
about nowhere.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
We've actually met them the other weekend.
Yeah,
they're
they're
really
super,
nice.
super
Welcome
cute.
to the family.
Yeah.
If you're watching now, hi. Welcome. Did people in your family know of each other before you got together? Both being quite high profile. Do you kind of know? Did someone like in your families know each other? Like you had like someone who was like, oh my god, I'm a massive Ali fan or a massive Claire fan, or did everyone take you at face value, whatever they?
No, I don't.
Quite face value, I feel like. I
Yeah.
feel like although streaming and YouTube and Twitch and whatever is fairly mainstream now, I'd say even if you jump back the 4 or 5 years ago
Yeah.
when we started dating, the mainstreamness of it all wasn't quite there, even 4 years ago. So not really. It was just kind of like Claire and Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, I told my mum, I showed her a picture. I'm like, oh, I like this boy, and she's like, oh, these YouTubers
cute.
though, I
like
don't
this
understand them. They sound a little bit scary, kind of like just be careful.
I am
And
very
he's like
scary.
the most sweet guy in the whole world.
Because when you met, you were working at Xbox, weren't you? Is that
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
you were working, and was Ali kind of was one of the kind of influencers who was coming to work with
Yeah,
you at
so
Xbox?
I
or-
was working Xbox, like the company, and Ali was working with one of the agencies that worked with Xbox. He's chucking into
You
those
can
cakes
explain. I'm
now.
going to eat cake.
So yeah, so I already knew a lot about the industry. I'd already kind of thought about doing my own YouTube channel, but I was a little bit scared. It's hard to put your face online. Like now it's so easy to record to a camera,
Yeah.
but when I first started recording, it was terrifying, and I'd wanted to do it for a really long time. I'd actually wanted to do it back when I was in uni at home, but I was too scared. So yeah, I already knew about the space and stuff,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of clicked.
Because it kind of blew up. I mean, you like an OG. You were there from Ali from the beginning, right? Like, so we're talking like what's it, eight years ago,
10 years ago.
10 years
2000.
ago.
I made my channel in January 2009.
Yeah.
So, like, from the beginning, where you would be hard pressed to find more than 3 channels of people that were talking over their gameplay. That's how rare it was back then.
Wow.
And the views were like a few hundred views. That was it.
Because obviously you have a channel, Claire, you have a channel as well. You have a second channel, Ali, and you have a combined Ali and Claire channel. Like
Yeah, we try and manage
it's
all
like
of them.
24 million subscribers in total. It's crazy,
Jeez,
right?
that's crazy.
I still love though, Claire, when you did a video on the joint channel recently, and you kind of shared with Ali again his face reveal video,
Yeah, I knew it
which
was
is
this
one of the
one.
best things I've ever seen. Where he goes, I mean, I can't even do. I mean, the impression. Hi guys, it's me,
It was
Ali.
more like this look. I'm like, hello everyone.
Did you practice that look up to the camera for
I
ages?
just did it, and at the time I was like, I'll keep that in.
It was.
You look so young as well.
Yeah, you did. It was. I mean, the hair was outstanding.
It was
This-
tragic,
It was.
let's be
It was. It was fantastic.
You
It
grew
was
up
really
on
funny.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's the
though,
weird
so,
thing is like, I'd say me as a person has changed so much. I mean, like it goes from the ages of 14 to 25. Like you're going to change quite a lot.
Yeah,
It's quite-
especially like for a boy, you kind of mature a bit later as a boy, don't
Yeah.
you? So you literally went from boy to man on YouTube, which is why
You
as
can watch the
a woman,
transition on my
I don't want
videos.
to watch the boy stuff
Yeah.
so much.
Well, you've become. I think, Ali, you've become as well. You when you, I don't know if you ever had MySpace. It might be way before your time, MySpace. But there was
Did you
whenever
have
you.
MySpace?
Did you have
can't remember.
MySpace?
Yeah, I
right.
loved
No, I don't
MySpace.
think
So MySpace, right? So it was basically like your Facebook page when you first kicked off, but it was always the first guy that would follow you as Tom. Tom was like your first
Yeah.
friend. He was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, and Tom, I'm following you on. It's your first guy." When people kind of start kind of like making content now, I guess Ali, you're one of the kind of the OGs. Everyone goes, right, got to follow Ali,
Yeah.
PewDiePie,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
JJ,
what I
KSI. all
hope.
these-
That's what I hope.
yeah, and that's kind of like, you know, you're one of the kind of the staple way because you make such family friendly content as well. Where there's a lot of people that don't really.
Yeah.
That definitely works in your favor as well, right?
I think it definitely helps for both of us in many ways. When you realize how young a lot of the people are that are watching you, like I would struggle if I was like swearing and doing all of these things, and I'm literally meeting an 8-year-old that has watched all of that content. Like
Yeah.
you're going to feel a little bit guilty.
Yeah.
And the parents always appreciate it. They know they can just let their kids watch our content. There's never going to be any issues.
Yeah.
But it works really well. Like YouTube know that their content needs this categorization system because they've got YouTube Kids, etc. So actually being family friendly and not swearing works well for our monetization and the sharing of our videos. So it all is a knock-on effect. But yeah, I think if you want an entry point into watching game videos on YouTube, you're probably going to flow through my channel or enter my channel at some point, maybe move on to someone else, but you probably watch 1 or 2 videos.
Yeah, because obviously your career on YouTube started off with Call of Duty, which is obviously not really a family friendly game as
Yeah,
such.
I posted that a few days ago and I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, people want to watch me play
Yeah, of
COD
course,
again,
yeah.
so yeah.
You got the skills, man.
Yeah, it's literally, all the buttons, that's the weird thing, all the buttons on COD are quite different to how I've remapped everything in Fortnite, but if you put Call of Duty in front of me on a screen and give me a controller, I'm a god again, man.
Yeah.
Like, what can I say? Like,
Yeah, modest, but no, it's Ali A here. So I mean, he's just like, I'm a god, mate. That's the way it is.
that's it. I mean, obviously playing it up a little bit, but yeah, like
Yeah.
you still remember everything. I've played the game for like so many years.
Because the amazing thing is, obviously, I want to talk about Pokemon Go as well, which is
Yes.
huge for you both. And of course, now Fortnite and Claire, The Sims is massive for you as well now. I mean, these are all kind of very colourful, animated, kind of, you know, despite the fact that, you know, Fortnite, you know, as such, is kind of still a battle royale shooter game. It is kind of in that kind of kid-friendly, I guess, category.
Yeah.
Obviously, it makes a massive difference because people are loving
it's
this.
huge. People overlook it, and games like Fortnite will get a lot of stick for being too family friendly, too cartoony. But actually, from a content creator's perspective, you want that game to be as colorful as possible. You want all the art assets to be amazing. And Fortnite has so many skins, all of these colorized weapons, and everything pops. So if you're putting a thumbnail together, you've got this amazing blue sky, green grass, like the typical Fortnite thumbnail, because the game looks like that.
It pops big.
And then if you have that compared to like a grey, brown, green COD, like that's one of the reasons, just the colours, that Fortnite does so well on YouTube and is played and picked up by so many people because it looks great, and that's overlooked by so many game developers. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even vanilla Sims is dark. Like I mod my game quite a lot, and I add like shaders and things that change like depth of focus and saturation. And it's more enjoyable even as an adult to play a game that is colorful and vibrant and exciting rather than like flat kind of colors game.
Yeah.
But from a content creator, like you said, it's just a no-brainer. You're competing with like hundreds of thousands of videos every time you post that have been uploaded at that exact moment.
Yeah.
And you want yours to be the one that looks colorful and fun because that's what people want to watch. They don't want to kind of click something that isn't fun and vibrant.
I mean, how often are you guys checking out, like, I guess the competition, if you will, other content creators who are creating the same space, whether it be Fortnite or The Sims and such? I mean, are you regularly looking over your shoulder thinking, right, what are they doing? How's that going to influence
That is like my bread and butter, as in like, when I was smaller, I say the biggest channel back then had 100,000 subscribers and I had like 100. I knew I could never compete with them. But I'm like, okay, let me find like 5 channels that are similar to me and let me do everything they're doing better and try and overtake them. And it was like, okay, better than them, bigger than them. What's the next one? 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. And then suddenly I found myself competing with like the top 3 Call of Duty creators. And for me, it's a good motivation and driving factor to look around and try and compete and improve with things around me. I need inspiration. Although I am a creative person, if you give me nothing, I'm going to struggle. But if you give me lots of ideas and things that other people are doing, and then a few of my own ideas and merge it all together, then I can do something really good. And even now with Fortnite, I still wake up and check everyone around me to see who's doing what and what's doing well. I don't know. Maybe it's like that's a competitive side of me, I think, as well.
Yeah, because I'm the opposite of that. I'm not competitive in the same way. I don't know if it's because I'm older or my channel, I knew it was never going to get to like Allier heights. It was always going to be more smaller and more niche, but I kind of like that because one, if I look at other people's content, I'm like a sponge. I'll just absorb it and then do the same thing. And I don't want to do that. I want it to be my own thing. But I also quite like being creative on my own and just kind of figuring out my own ideas as well. So I look at what other people are doing, but I try not to watch their videos because then I'll accidentally start replicating what they're doing. And I just don't want to do that. I want it to be like my own thing. And also I think because the Sims community is a little bit smaller. It's not really competitive. It's much more collaborative. So there's less pressure to be the channel that gets the most views. It's not something I think about so much now. I just rather make videos that make me happy to make them. So yeah, it's kind of two different ways of doing things.
Does the same thing happen outside of content creator? You look at other influencers, like there's obviously recently the likes of Ninja, for instance, has kind of completely committed to Mixer, which is I guess Xbox.
Microsoft. Yeah.
I mean, do you kind of look at those kind of situations and what's happening in that respect, and kind of keep tabs on influencers, kind of the decision making and such as well?
Yeah, I think we always talk about that if a news article pops up or somebody we follow does something. It's weird. There's almost like, in fact, I was scrolling through my Twitter feed today, and I can't remember exactly, but one of the Formula One drivers was re-signed with one of the racing teams, and it's like a big thing. Like he's renewed his contract, like he's still with that team. People love it. And it's weird now how you get this thing in the gaming community where it's like this person's moved to Twitch or this person's moved to Mixer, and it's almost like a football transfer kind of thing. And there's a lot of talk around it. There's a lot of discussion around it. And we always keep tabs on it. And yeah, I mean, sometimes we do things with announcements as well. But it's funny because people now, and it's a big change over the last few years, and I think Ninja's pushed it quite a lot. We've always been referred to as different things. We were always referred to as YouTubers, always. And in the last like 12 to 18 months, we're now referred to as streamers, which we're not.
Really?
We don't stream. But that's the go-to phrase now, I'd say, is streamer, because the likes of Ninja, who are streamers, are so mainstream and popular, and a lot of these Fortnite players and a lot of these people do stream. That's now the go-to phrase, which is quite funny.
Well, there's a lot of people like Ninja and also like Nadeshot kind of building not just like an individual brand, it kind of is going a little bit bigger than that. And especially with Nadeshot building in like all these esports teams and stuff and an entire big company. And like we read about it and like, it's amazing. Like the
100
success
Thieves has gone crazy big, real quick.
It's really good. But I think neither of us ever kind of compare or project to that, because that's somebody building a business that's very different to what we want to do. We kind of, the reason that we both do what we do and what we want to be doing in future is much more creating content, but that allows us to live our life outside of that in the way that we do. We're much more kind of family focused. Our idea of getting away is the time that is spent building a business, I'd much rather spend like going up north to see my family, going and seeing your family, like taking our brothers away somewhere and like doing that kind of a thing. We're a bit more
mature.
Yeah, it's just a different lifestyle, isn't it? Because building a business in one way is amazing, but it's just not what our focus is. I think our focus is much more on our family and our future together as like a couple.
Yeah, I think you definitely see these phases, and people that are at the height of their popularity will be getting these big deals and these big things happening. And I don't think we look at that and we're like jealous or wish we get that. We, as you said, we're basing our stuff more around maybe doing less deals so that we can have more time just off camera doing our own thing. Because I know how much time people like Nadeshot and Ninja are putting in. Like they will have maybe half an hour free each day to watch a TV show, whereas we want more free time so we can go and walk our dog. Even like basic things like that. So like we respect that grind, but that's not necessarily what we're aiming towards. We are like, that's why all three of us are here now. Because like we're just like a family unit.
Yeah, we're like, we have to take Evie everywhere. We just have different goals, but
for a second there I thought you meant me, that I was part of your
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
Now I'm like,
don't worry.
oh, damn it.
Adam's, we've adopted Adam.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I could live in the basement. Thank you. But I mean, I saw this morning, Ninja signed that kind of deal with Adidas this morning, and obviously they have like, I mean, I'm looking for when the Clare and Ali kind of Nike line's going to come out or something at some stage.
Yeah, keep an eye.
Yeah, keep an eye out. But even like Nick A30, who's a massive YouTuber, stream. He is a streamer, I guess, on YouTube playing Fortnite.
Yes.
And this morning announced that he's going full into Twitch now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
I
it's
didn't
like,
quite get it. I watched the announcement. I'm like, I thought he already streamed on Twitch. And then I forgot he's like one of the big Fortnite streamers that dedicated to YouTube. I don't know the ins and outs of streaming. And I actually think being a big streamer on a platform which has less competition like YouTube works really well because YouTube promotes streams a lot. So to see him switch over, I mean, the obvious one, there must have been a lot of money involved in that. But he must also feel like he can carry his audience across and build his audience there and still use YouTube as a platform to put his VOD content, like his videos from his streams. So he's not really losing out in that way. But yeah, like big deals, a lot of money going around and a lot of competition, especially. And I think that's why streamers is used so much as a phrase because people aren't competing for a video on demand service at the moment. They're competing for a streaming service. That's why you get these mixers, YouTube Live and Twitch is all battling it out because those are the big platforms at the moment.
Plus, parents know what Twitch is. Whereas I think like years ago, parents would have been like, oh, we understand YouTube. Like we know like Dan TDM. Whereas now parents, like we know what Twitch is. We know who Ninja is because they're watching, their kids have been playing Fortnite for like the last year nonstop. So like the general awareness has changed a lot too.
So is money still a massive motivation when it comes to making videos? There must come a point where, obviously, having been around the block for a long time now, particularly you, Ali, with being an influencer or a YouTuber or a streamer, as you're now called. I mean, is there kind of point where you kind of like money isn't really the incentive anymore, or is it more about like experiences and just like your future? I mean, for a lot of people, obviously, it is a massive factor. Like the professionals, like with the Fortnite World Cup recently, some Booga won what $3.5 million.
$3 million, yeah.
I mean, that's insane money. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're fortunate. Because when I started, there was no money, so it's never been the motivation. Money. I literally did it as like a passion project, and then a little bit of money started coming in, and then it all really took off when I signed my first contract to earn a little bit of money through YouTube. So I've been in a very fortunate position where I've never had to think, what is my next paycheck? Because when I was getting a lot of money, even when I started off when I was like 17, 18, I was in a position where I was living in my parents' bedroom. So like I didn't need to worry about paying. Oh,
you were living in your parents' bedroom?
A bedroom in my parents' house.
Setup.
Let's just make sure
like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. You're all in the same room.
We're all in the same. They don't leave the bed. So I was fortunate enough where I wasn't having to worry about money. And then since we've been together and you've been doing it, like we don't have to worry about money as such. It's not necessarily motivation. I think the thing that is fortunate is that if a deal comes in and it's for a decent amount of money, we don't have to think, oh, maybe we should do this because of the money. We think, do we want to do this and is it the right thing for us? And saying no is often a really good thing. Like you don't have to say it just because it's given to you. So, but then it also offers lots of good opportunities as well. But at this point, no, the money isn't the motivator, but we do realize that there is a limited lifespan to what we're doing. But then in contrast, you mentioned all of these young players, they need to be earning this prize pool money. They need to be, building up a brand quickly and well, because who knows how long they're going to be relevant for. I bet you a lot of people that all the kids are talking about now because they're amazing at Fortnite, you will not talk about them in 24 months' time, in 2 years' time, because they've just not adapted to the next game. They've burnt themselves out, and you've got to look at the longevity of it all.
Yeah, and just on the money thing, my route to YouTube is it's very different to Ali's. It's not something that I started trying out in my teens. It's something that I came to much later. Like I was in my mid-20s when I started my channel. And money was a big motivator for me because I was doing the YouTube on the side of working at Xbox, and I'd worked in the gaming industry for a while. I'd worked at several different agencies. I'd been like headhunted into Xbox. And I was on my job was really good. I enjoyed my job. I was on a good salary. So to leave it all to do YouTube was obviously a big risk.
Yeah.
And I was doing the YouTube stuff at the side, and it kind of felt like jumping over in your mid-20s. It was, I don't know, it kind of felt like, your time's passed, like you're a little bit old for it now, you're in a sensible job, like you've got a good position, just kind of stick at this.
Yeah.
So for me, I was very much watching the YouTube money, and when it got to the point where, they were kind of balancing out as about equal, that was when it came to the point where, like, if you're going to give this a go, give it a go. And I was lucky that my boss, Graham, who you know well, was very, he was like really good in that he encouraged me.
He's a lovely guy, isn't he?
He's such a nice guy. And like, he actually helped us get together because when I first started talking about you, he was just, I thought Ali had paid him. Like, because Graham was like, he is the nicest guy I've ever met.
No money exchange hands. This is Graham Boyd that works at Xbox, by the way.
Yeah.
Really nice
I thought
guy.
he was like slipping you money under the table. Like, no, you were slipping him
He
money.
was slipping Ali money to talk to you. So, that is very strange
we talk
situation.
and he's like, oh, really funny. Graham's just said you look dishy today. And I'm like,
Yeah, he did.
he's got my check today.
He's like, oh yeah, he's dishy as Ali.
He's dishy. Class. Love that.
But he's always been I interviewed him as my dissertation in uni, and then he was the one that ended up bringing me into my first agency job when I moved in London, and like ended up working with Xbox for me. Like, he's literally helped my career path so much. He has a wedding invite, don't you worry. And it was him that said, just give it a go. If it all fails, you've got a great CV, so just try it.
Yeah.
And I did, and I'm glad I did, because the freedom we have in our lives is one of the big, like YouTube's a lot of work, but it also is the freedom to travel, the fact that we get to see each other all day and have pets that have someone at the house with them all day, and it's just the kind of lifestyle we wanted. So I'm really glad I did it.
It's such a good position that you guys have got together as well, because obviously travel, as you mentioned, and you work together so regularly as well, which makes a massive difference. Obviously I think I'm the other side of like you, Claire, so like with regards to YouTube, because I kind of completely missed that boat of jumping onto like a channel and kind of committing, because you've got to commit so much time. As you said, like you get to a certain age, you can't live at home in your mum's bedroom with them anymore. You've got to you've got to you've got to start kind of providing a life and stuff, and that's why I did like hosting and things. But I think I think with the YouTube side of things as well, you're right. There comes a point where you do think, have I gone over the hill? Is it too late to start? But there are some people who are still managing to kind of turn it on really late, and still, kind of, I know, like, mentioned like a Ninja and stuff, like Courage, for instance, who was a caster, who was like, I'm chucking it all in.
Yeah.
I'm going to go full on into Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
And now he's soaring as well.
Yeah, his growth's crazy, and there isn't a time limit or an age limit on this kind of thing. And like, Claire was super conscious that she was mid-20s, and like compared to most content creators who the majority of ages is probably teenagers to like very early 20s. But if you're good on camera and you're making good content, it doesn't matter how old you are. So there's not a limit. And yeah, anyone can blow up at any time. It's definitely more saturated. It's definitely harder. But if you do blow up, you're going to blow up quicker than ever, because all the people are there, if that makes sense. They're there ready to jump on the next thing. So there's positives and negatives, and but the thing is, doesn't matter how old you are, you can start and you can blow up.
Yeah. You just got to be relatable.
Yeah. Well, when you first started making videos as well, Claire, was there a lot? Were you kind of always reading comments? Like, were you kind of very aware of people who were saying about you and the stuff you're making as well?
I was like, I've always been super aware of it. So from the beginning, I've looked at comments. My Sim series is still very much kind of molded by the comments that I get on YouTube and what people want to see and interesting storylines. I still very much take it from that. The one thing I've learned to do over time is filter out the negativity comments, because at the beginning they're not there. Like, people, and honestly, I have a very supportive audience, but your face is online, your life to some degree is online, and you're going to get some negativity. And there was definitely a stage. You kind of start off and it's all like sunshine and roses. And then there's a little bit in the middle where you start to get negativity, but mentally you've never had to deal with that before. And then as you kind of grow and mature and like learn to deal with it, you kind of go back to sunshine and roses again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's something that I think people now realize that YouTubers or anyone who has their face online has to learn to deal with it. I mean, footballers get social media training now on how to deal with like the negativity that comes online.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just definitely. Well, I've completely lost the trail of where the question was.
No.
But yeah, that is
you're right. I mean, the trolling aspect is,
Yeah.
it must be hard to get. I mean, you're right. Every 100 positive comments, there's always the negative one.
Yeah.
That kind of sticks out, and you kind of go, oh God, what's happened there? Why?
And that
why is
one feels so loud compared to the others.
Yeah.
But you've got to listen to the majority of your audience. And
Yeah.
I'm really lucky in that my community is like so nice and
Yeah.
so amazing. And I think part of it is just because they're great people.
Yeah.
But also I think if you put out kind of a very positive, happy, just generally warm, welcoming kind of atmosphere out onto your channel, then that is what you kind of reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm lucky that I've got a real nice community and I definitely still listen to them and all their comments. I actually just started a Discord channel just so that I can talk to people one-on-one, and that's been really cool as well.
Awesome. I mean, I've got to talk to you, Ali, about Memegate as well. The Ali
gosh.
meme. I mean, this was the thing that kind of, I think, was it last year? Because this
Yes.
segues from the comment side of things as well.
Yeah.
Tell us how it kind of first happened and what happened with it all.
So, I mean, it was exposure on a level that I never wanted or like, so basically.
Was it PewDiePie that first did something?
I'm going to blame him 100%.
It's your
I'm
fault,
blaming him.
Felix, okay?
So I was just on this Fortnite wave. Like, views were just ridiculous.
It was crazy, I remember.
It was like beyond anything I ever thought I'd ever see on YouTube, let alone for my own channel. It was crazy. Every video, 3, 4, 5, 10 million views if it went super viral. Like, it was insane. But when things are doing that well and you're being suggested to that many people, yes, you're getting all these people watching and a lot of people subscribing and enjoying it, but you are hitting a lot of people that just are sick of seeing you because you're in suggested all the time, which is what it was going on back then. And what was happening, PewDiePie obviously is going to jump on anything that's big at the time, and with a lot of exposure, you also build up a lot of people that are just like, I'm sick of seeing your face, Ali, blah, blah, blah. So, and this is something I've done on my channel since the beginning, and I like doing it. It got me hyped for videos. So say there was a really cool part of the video, that goes right at the beginning, cuts into my intro, big music. I love my EDM music, and we switch in tracks, and I'm lucky enough to work with Future House Music, who send me a load of EDM tracks, and then it leads into the video. So what happened is, and it's annoying. So my editor, Aaron, really nice guy, he would switch in the track that we were using for that big intro, and there was one track I told him, I was like, I think we should stop using this track because I don't like it. It's too heavy. And it's just obnoxious. And that is the track that the whole of the internet decided to pick up on and meme it. So the idea is you play like a controversial clip, or you just play something that's a bit of a joke, and then you cut in my Ali intro and play that track bass boosted. And it's just so annoying that the one track I told him to stop using, like the day after, just went so viral. And the thing is, people are like, yeah, but all exposure is good exposure. And it's like, I was honestly, like, things were so good then that I didn't need that additional negative exposure. And people are like, yeah, but more people went and watched you, more people would have checked out your channel. And it's like that negative effect actually just slowly killed things off. Like, as soon as that thing went viral, a lot of my audience, which just didn't really care about my intro and thought it was a laugh and liked it, were then being suckered in by all of these people that are like, oh, this is Ali A meme. His intros are dumb, blah blah blah, and it like had a negative effect on everything.
Because kids are quite like I was the same when I was young and I was a teenager. You're very aware of what people think are cool and isn't cool.
Yeah.
So the minute everyone's like, no, this isn't cool. This is like you need to make fun of that. And I think a lot of people kind of got very caught up in that, and people that were previously like supportive kind of got in on the whole let's kind of take the mick and be cruel sort of thing.
I mean, from watching your videos as well, and kind of keeping tabs on what was going on, it was clearly obvious that at that time you were like the biggest YouTuber, like in terms of viewership. Your videos, as you mentioned, were insane.
Yeah, I think
and there's
that
got
one
to be
month,
an element of like jealousy maybe from other influences maybe of how big it was getting?
Well,
I think, sorry, you go
I
ahead.
was just going to say that I think some of it came from the fact that Fortnite is a game that adults enjoy, teenagers enjoy, kids enjoy. And Ali's videos were aimed at a specific audience that is a little bit younger. He doesn't swear, and his videos are very much aimed at that. But adults were getting quite annoyed at getting the suggested videos because they're like, well, I don't enjoy this content. It's like, yeah, but it's not made for you. You can't get angry about not being the right audience for the video. Just kind of go to one that is the right audience. So I think some of it came from people being angry that the video wasn't what they wanted to watch, but they were never the intended target audience, were they?
Yeah, the go-to thing is like, oh, his audience are all 9-year-olds, blah, blah, blah. It's like, probably the best audience to have is a lot of 9-year-olds, to be honest with you.
That's the dream
Like,
demographic right there.
Yeah, and obviously that's like, it's kid-friendly. It's just, it's literally, it's like you're watching a video of someone playing games. Like, let's be real, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. It's a piece of entertainment. But yeah, I actually found it quite funny, and I saw the funny side of it. We would watch like some compilations of these like Ali memes.
Yeah.
Some of them I just could never show like me reacting to because they're just way too, they were bad, they were controversial.
They got dark.
It got really dark at one point.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny and I can laugh at it, thank goodness. But I mean, it was wake up every day and go into my Twitter feed, and when you mention like 1 negative, 99 nice, this was like 99 negative, 1 nice. Like, it was rough for a while, and I separated myself quite heavily from like what people were saying.
Yeah, you were. Mate, I remember seeing you when it was all kicking off, and you had such a thick skin, like, because it was a bit wild there.
I think it's because I've gone through like smaller scale versions of it. You have to throughout. If you've been doing YouTube for 10 years, you're going to have things where negatives are brought up and you get this negative comments. Luckily, we were in a really good space, and I knew that it was just a lot of people saying this stuff would go away in a little bit. Because they weren't there, they didn't really care about me. They just wanted to say something nasty and leave.
Yeah.
I think I got angry about it than you did.
Other people got more angry than I did. I'm like, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Like, it's going to go away eventually.
There was a lot about it on Reddit, and I read it all the time. I've read it heavily for like years. And then to see like your boyfriend get dragged on the website that you use really heavily was like rough. And we just moved into a new house as well. And I think what a lot of people don't appreciate when you like become a meme, like you see it with other people that get like memed, that their lives afterwards and that kind of thing, but they stopped seeing him as a person and just saw him as this thing to take the mick out of.
Yeah.
We just moved into a new house, and people would like, they stopped seeing you as a person in terms of, we can hassle you because you're just a meme, you're not an actual person. And I found it really hard to deal with. Like, if someone can say something negative about me, I can kind of like push it under the rug. But if they say it about a person I really care about, then I was like legit
not
really
when it's your family.
It's
like it's different.
Yeah.
So don't go near my family.
Yeah, leave my family alone.
The one lasting thing is we've like say the internet as a whole. Yes, I've got my audience, and I can walk down a street in the middle of a day and there's loads of business people and no one knows who I am. Or you could walk by a school and all the kids are like, there's Ali A. The annoying thing is you've now got that slight like injection of toxicity and negativity where some people will only know me as that meme intro. They won't know anything else, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if someone knew me, I'm like, great, they know me because my videos are going to be nice. Whereas there's a chance now that someone may see me and just be like, I hate you because I know you from the meme, which is a bit scary.
And especially if you're out and about and like there's, I don't know, like a group.
Yeah.
And the thought always goes through your mind like,
Oh yeah.
Is it going to be funny to do something cruel and film it? Like there's just always that in the back of your mind now. Yeah.
Is it when I mean, this is obviously you know celebrities are out and about here, there, everywhere, and you kind of as adults, you kind of go, "Oh, that's that person over there."
We spotted one just before the podcast.
We did. What was his name? Was it
Rob Stark?
It's Richard Madden, right?
I don't know names. I can't.
I only know the Game of Thrones names.
Okay, it's definitely not Richard Madeley because he's from like This Morning a long time ago. Not him.
Not sure.
Yeah, I think let's just say it him from Game of Thrones. Rob Stark. But you see celebrities around. Obviously, as adults, you kind of go, "Oh, that's that person over there." But for kids, they don't really have a filter. They see like someone that they know, like yourselves. They kind of go, "No way, it's Ali and Claire," and they kind of run up. And I mean, can you go out and about in public? Is that kind of like is there certain places you wouldn't go, like a shopping mall? Or is that just an absolute no go because it's just crazy, or is it kind
I'd
of
say
okay?
It's kind of calmed down again now.
Yeah, it's better. I think we're fortunate that we do a lot of things at weird times anyway. We'll like shop on a Sunday evening, like or something, and like we'll tend to go out like during the day. So and you've got like most of your audience are kids in school anyway. But yeah, there's definitely like you could be anywhere and you could be recognized. That's the crazy thing.
But like 99.99% of those interactions are so genuine and friendly
everyone's
and
really
nice and happy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like so rare you get the other side of it.
We've talked about this before, but Pokemon Go, when that kicked off, right? And I've said this to Ali, but that night we went down to I think we were at COD XP, weren't we? That's what I think we were all there for COD XP. Was it COD XP?
Yeah, I think you're
we
right.
We were there for something. We were there together.
I think you're right. It was COD XP, right?
Yeah.
2016, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we went, and it was when Pokemon Go had just like because COD had kind of got hit like Infinite Warfare, it kind of tanked a little bit.
Yes.
And I remember we were talking about like views and things, and this is before Fortnite and the big, what was about to happen. And Pokemon Go comes along, and you were like, right, you saw the trend, you saw the curve, and you were like, right, this is definitely something I love. You've always loved Pokemon, both of you have. Let's jump on this because this is going to be something which is really great fun for us. We can do together. We went down to San Diego Pier, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh, no, it was Santa Monica Pier.
Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
We went down Santa Monica Pier, and I remember there was one kid that was like, yo, that's LA. Okay? And then I'd say within about 4-5 minutes, there was about 100, maybe say 200 people that had gathered round you on this pier, like collecting.
Yeah.
You were with us as well, I think.
Yeah,
right?
we were like, it happened.
It was
crazy. Like, the day before as well.
And I remember that, and we've known each other not for any little bit just then, just got to know each other. And I was a bit like, this is the life of Ali is absolutely insane, like because it was, and it just got crazy, and it was pictures, it was all this thing, and everyone's obviously there because obviously Santa Monica Pier at the time was this huge hot spot for like Charizards or something. That was dropping.
Couldn't get phone signal. It was so busy.
It was so dense with people using their phone to try and catch these Pokemon that you'd struggle to get signal. That's how crazy it was.
But if George Clooney had walked onto that pier, I don't think he would have had anywhere near the same amount of of fandom that you experienced in that kind of 5 minutes.
It was crazy.
It was wild. But that's what I'm always fascinated. I mean, Pokemon Go was like a whole. I think that was your first kind of real. From what I saw outside of COD, like in that kind of 9 to let's say 15 demographic,
yes,
people were like,
true.
"Oh my, this is a guy that I totally trust to get all the good stuff." Because you were going out like 3 a.m. down to car parks to catch like some
that was your idea
something.
actually to do like a nighttime hunt.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was
with Eevee, like as a puppy.
As a 30-something role, I'm there going, "This is great. Yeah, you go get that Pokemon. I want to see it."
It was so
It was great. I mean, was that for you a big turning point as well? The Pokemon Go craze?
Yeah, that was like if there's been waves, that was one I thought would never be topped.
Yeah.
And then Fortnite happened. It was just like I think that month on my second channel, I was like the second most subscribed that month, maybe behind Ariana Grande or something crazy. Got like 1 million in a month or something. And out of all the things that are blowing up, it always comes down to genuine enjoyment and like interest in the game. And it's funny because I tweeted being like, once Pokemon Go comes out, it's going to take over my life like 8 months before it even released, and it was as big as it was. Like I was there ready, waiting for it. We were both ready, waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice break, especially as you said, COD was just like a really bad point, and I was just waking up every day, sitting there like, what do I do for a video? It was really nice to get out the house, vlog and travel and do things that we couldn't normally do outside the house and still make content.
That game's got such a mixed audience as well. Like the people you bump into like whole families playing together, or like couples our age playing, little kids. It's just like it's such a nice mixture, and everyone is so wholesome in that community. It's just really nice.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, because you see, you're right. You see families huddled around, like kind of taking on like the latest whatever it is that's kind of come along, some exotic Pokemon. And everyone's just playing together. It is a really family. I mean, I think Harry Potter's tried to do the same kind of thing. I don't think it's been quite as. Is it? I don't
but
know
also we were filming because I did a Harry Potter video on my channel. And what was crazy was when we did Pokemon Go, we got so used to vlogging and playing a game in public and being loud and crazy. And then Harry Potter came out and we were both dying of embarrassment. And we're like, how has this happened? How have we regressed so much?
Because I guess, there was, I mean, because I remember because there's screen recording and there's vlogging. And it was crazy. It was great.
Big respect to all the people that still do it as their main focus on their channel. And the good thing for them is that actually the game gets a lot of updates now, so they can still do that and still sustain it because the audience is still there. It's just not as big as it was, so you don't see it as much. But yeah, it's like you need to be recording your screen, you need to be recording yourself, you need to be syncing everything up, you need to be putting all these files together.
There's a lot that can go wrong.
And those videos were big edits. I was up till 4 or 5 a.m. every night for like 3 or 4 weeks when it first came out.
And I was doing that around a full-time job.
Yeah, you were editing it.
You were still working.
Yeah.
While I was working at Xbox, like it was a grind, and that was the point at which it made me get an editor, because I can't do this by myself. But yeah, it definitely, as much fun as it was, vlogging in public is not easy, and I'm so glad I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And it also caused a lot of arguments between us because we were filming the same things, and it turned from like, oh, let's go out and play Pokemon to, are we filming this? It's like, yeah, I want to film it. It's like, yeah, well, I want to film it too. And say a rare Pokemon pops up, like we both want to film it. We're like, can you hold the camera? It's like, yeah, but I need to film it as well. So it did cause arguments.
We got like the claw thing to like, and we would like balance our camera on trees and stuff. And we just have to go to a part together and then just completely go separate ways because it was tense. Especially if like, oh my gosh, like legendaries appeared and both of us are trying to catch it, arguing over who gets it first, and then the first person doesn't get it. So they're holding the camera like...
My most memorable
like,
moment,
so mad.
like fair play to Claire. We hadn't been together that long.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd edited this video, and it was maybe like 9 p.m. And the video wasn't long enough, and I said in it I was going to go to like a Scyther nest. Like basically you can get these spawns where a Pokemon spawns more in like a park, and they're called nests. And I was like, babe, we need to go to this like park. It's only like 10-minute drive away.
Bear in mind, I've got to be up at 7 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, so we drove
What
there.
time is it? Like 9 o'clock at night?
We got there like 9:30. Bearing in mind it's like
Yeah.
September, so it's like now. So it was pretty much dark when we arrived. We're getting dark. And the phone signal and the consistency of the game not crashing was terrible. It would crash all the time. So you got to this park and there was no tracking system. So finding this Pokemon was hard. And I found a Scyther and it was really high CP and it kept on running away. And I was getting so mad to a point where I had one on my screen. I'm like, I'm going to catch this one. I'm going to catch this one. Flicked the Pokeball. I think the whole game crashed, rebooted it. It wasn't there. And I just got my hand and I punched the ground as hard as I could.
You were like,
and
I'm just like this, like...
And Claire's trying to like keep her
Just, like,
composure
filming the
behind the
whole thing.
camera.
Well, this could be good for the vlog. Okay.
And yeah, that was Alie's top 10 Pokemon Go rage moment.
That was a
or
low point for you.
something. Yeah.
That was a low point for you. Whatever time it was in the morning.
Yeah,
just in the dark,
we stayed there late, and then you had to get up the next morning.
That's like when we first started going out. That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And like your gaming rage now compared to then is just like, you used to be so... You used to get angry at games.
Yes.
Games can make you angry.
Yes.
I don't think they can make you violent, but in the moment they can make you really passionate.
Yeah.
But you've definitely chilled out massively over time.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you connected over that game, which obviously was...
There was so many positives from it. Like, yeah, it was great that it was something that got us both out the house. It was a great boost for your channel at the time as well. It really brought a lot of people in. And yeah, it was so fun.
Like Evie was a puppy when we first started that as well. So that like she grew up. If we watch back our Pokemon Go videos, we can watch Evie grow up in the background, which is like so cute, and we'll always have that because it's always going to be on the internet.
Well, that's the thing I love about what you guys do as well as a couple doing this together, because you actually have a living, breathing record of your time together online anytime you want to watch it. If you have kids one day, grandkids, whatever, they can always watch that stuff back. And even Evie as well as a puppy and things, it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's really great. It's really, really good to do that. I mean, with Pokemon Go, was it a big jump? Did Fortnite kind of come out of the blue for you as well? Was it kind of
came out the blue for everyone?
It just dropped, didn't it? Out of nowhere, it just dropped. Yeah.
The funny thing is, so they released a trailer, and other games had tried to merge the big things, which was a shooting game, a competitive shooting game with building mechanics of Minecraft. And other games had tried it, but it just hadn't really picked up. It was clunky. It just didn't work. So we watched this trailer, and at the time, I think like Pokemon Go was really low again. COD was like just never really come back to what it was. So we wrote in our diary. I remember writing in my calendar.
Yeah, same.
Fortnite beta, I think it was, comes out on this day. We both wrote it in, and then we missed it. Maybe we were out that day, whatever. It went past. Didn't really think anything of it. And then like, because YouTube suggested content is so based around what you're watching, and because I was watching a lot of COD and a lot of shooting games and Minecraft games, these Fortnite videos started to pop up in my recommendations, and I was clicking them, and I was like, I can't stop watching it. Like it's such a colorful, interesting battle royale game, and I knew the success of PUBG. I knew the success of H1Z1, which were like these previous versions of battle royale games, which were big but not like mainstream big. I was like, I've got to play this, man. So we started playing it in the evenings. We're up to like 2, 3 a.m. playing it together. And it just went bigger and bigger and bigger. And more people started playing it and more people started talking about it. But no one in the world knew it was going to do that. Like, we were just there experiencing it and it was just blowing up and it was crazy.
Well, didn't the patch notes as well, the whole Battle Royale thing was like a secondary kind of like thing. They were focusing on the save the world kind of stuff. So it's all about kind of like PvE stuff.
Yeah.
And suddenly everyone's like, oh yeah, there's this Battle Royale thing. We kind of worked on a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Because it was the first, I think it was, I want to say the first Battle Royale on console as well. I don't remember, I don't think PUBG
That's a very good point. So
H1Z1
you needed to have a good PC because the game wasn't well optimized and you needed to be good with a keyboard and mouse. And that was the one thing that separated me from playing it I'm still not good with keyboard and mouse.
Me too, mate.
So yeah, it was free to play on the console and it was colorful and it was simple and it was intense and it was just so much fun.
So how closely do you work with Epic Games on Fortnite? And Claire, same goes for you, I guess, with EA. How close are you working with them on the Sims stuff as well?
So with the Sims, EA have like a Game Changers program. So you get early access to stuff. They invite you along to play the game early. And there's a Discord as well. And you kind of can talk with the devs, which is really cool. I kind of came to it quite late. I'd been making Sims videos for quite a while before I kind of was like accepted into the fold. Because like I said, the Sims community is like very niche and quite like, because it's so collaborative, it can be a bit cliquey as well. But in a good way, like they're all really genuinely nice people. But I think the Sims community before had been very much these beautiful stories that people were creating without face cam and like, you know, it was a very different kind of content. And then I came along and just slapped my face cam on, made me an ally and like kept making videos the same way I'd always done. So they were quite like energetic and loud and crazy and memey. So I think at the beginning people were kind of like, oh, what is this girl doing?
What is this Clare Siobhan person?
Yeah.
What is she doing?
Clare Siobhan, what is she doing? Yeah.
Siobhan.
Brilliant.
But now I know a lot of the other Sims YouTube as well, and like it's different now. I'm much more like part of the fold now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you get to work with EA quite closely for that, so it's really cool.
That's cool.
You've done a few things with EA directly, haven't you?
Yeah, so that's been nice.
I enjoyed your Tomb Raider stuff as well, by the way. On the other
Oh
side,
yeah,
that was really
I
cool.
love that so much. But it's funny because that, you know, you go back to the conversation about family-friendly content and violence and getting video games on YouTube and what is allowed to be shown and what isn't. Straight away, as soon as you upload a game like Tomb Raider that is like the 15 or the 18 plus, the views on it just aren't going to be the same because YouTube just looks at it and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this, so we're just going to hide it. We're not going to put it in suggested in the same way.
Wow.
And Tomb Raider suffered from that. I'm afraid.
Yeah. But I mean, with Epic as well, like obviously this, I mean, I hosted the ESL finals this year in Katowice, which was really cool, working with them directly. Cool. And that was the first time I kind of worked with Epic Games on something. And I remember there was a lot of the game basically in 2 years had achieved an insane amount. Particularly, I think they made $4 billion in the first year.
Probably sounds
on
about
just
right.
skins alone.
Yeah.
Which is crazy money.
Yeah.
So like you think $100 million for like a World Cup, everyone's like, oh my god, that's insane money. It's like to them, they're like, well, it's 100 million. You know, we've got more.
They've made it back in a few weeks.
In a few weeks,
skins.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, obviously they gave the creator code stuff as well, which is that been a big help as well in terms of like the channels, sustaining the channel as well?
Before we talk about that, going back further, there was always a big disconnect between content creators and the publishers, and they didn't really take us seriously. And then with Activision and Call of Duty, they started inviting us to events where previously the only people that would get to play DLC early or even the new Call of Duty early would be press. So someone would go along, play the game for a few hours in a room and write up a review of it. Then it was like suddenly all of us teenagers were coming along and we were killing all of the press at multiplayer and getting all of this early footage, and we were being prioritized over the press. And they didn't like that. But Activision started realizing that we were useful assets, and we basically just gave their game free promo. And it's funny because back then people were like, oh, Activision are paying Ali to do this, they're paying blah, blah to do that. Where in matter of fact, I think Activision never paid anyone for anything for ages. Only recently, now that they actually have competition, they've got to make other people, they've got to pay some money. So there wasn't any money involved at all. But that was a developing relationship between content creators and Activision. And then Epic Games came along, and they've been really good. They invite us to these events. They really know how important the community are, and they're very good at including us in that stuff. And yes, they went out of their way to make a supporter creator program where their incentive was, if we are making the creators show our store more via promoting their code, then we will get more sales and we'll give you a portion of it, which I used to joke to my friends or other content creators that Activision were giving me a small percentage of DLC sales as a joke. And then Epic Games went and did it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been really, like, it's genuinely its own revenue stream. Like, it's really useful. And it works well for them, because if you start playing other games and don't play Fortnite as much, that revenue stream for that content creator will drop off. So you're kind of tied a little bit to their game.
Well, it's great of you to give shout outs to fans of your videos as
Yeah,
well.
and it's a really interactive thing. It's nice because like I do see people that are always using my code, and it's free, but isn't it? For them, it's just a way of another way of us interacting with our audience, which is really cool. And it was meant to be a beta program, which was meant to end last year, and then they announced that they're keeping it indefinitely, and now it's a whole system where any games on the Epic Games Store you can support a creator. So I've gone on and logged into my dashboard, and it's like someone from Subnautica has bought a bit of content and I've earned $1 and like it's a big thing now. And I think they've realized, and hopefully other game developers will realize, that if you get content creators and people to have some sort of like even tiny percentage, like at the Epic Games supporter creators, like 5%, even like that small amount, it's a great way to give back to the people that are making content and also promote, your store or your game or whatever. So hopefully, and I think it will take off for more developers moving forwards as well.
Didn't Tfue buy like a Lamborghini with his first month of
He could have probably bought several Lamborghinis. Like, he did it so well. People like, it was like a joke, like, to use his code, and he'd promote it all the time. But because he's one of the biggest Fortnite players in the world and his reach is so big, it's just dumb. It's just
crazy.
dumb, to be honest with you.
I mean, that whole phase thing was nuts as well, wasn't it? With him
a
and
lot of controversy.
A lot of controversy.
When you get these big brands and you get these young people, sometimes they just do silly things and it's going to cause controversy. Like, it is an unusual market to be in, because the gaming content creators and players were so young and it's so different, and there's nothing, no one's really being managed. It's not like you're a football player with a whole team behind you. It's just someone sat in their room tweeting and saying whatever they want. So you're going to get into trouble sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I think you have to appreciate, if you do this, how much responsibility you have in terms of what you say and do online. And you've done this for a long time, so you know it. I'm a little bit older, so I know it, but I'm not sure if all influencers get that. And we think about it all the time. You've got to be so careful about what you say. You don't ever want to kind of like do anything that could potentially be seen as harming or taking advantage of your audience, because you never want to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But you have such a huge responsibility. People really do listen to you, and they'll hang on to your every word about certain topics. So you have to get it right when you're talking about them.
Yeah. Has Ali been at home complaining about the current state of Fortnite recently? Is he
I've
frustrated?
I've heard about mechs. I've heard about slowing down the turbo mode building.
Which has come back apparently in some. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing as well. I mean, Fortnite's in a very strange state at the moment, where people obviously have been. The community is, as you mentioned, is super willing to offer their opinions on certain things. What's the current state of Fortnite in your opinion? Like, how do you think it is? Is it getting better there now? Is it still kind of? So the mechs were not good. We know that's the thing.
Yeah, it's funny because, again, going back to COD, I was the go-to guy to never say anything negative. Everything was good, and if it wasn't good, I wouldn't say it was good, but I just wouldn't talk about it. Like, and I still am, like, I'm a positive person. Like, I want to be positive and talk about good stuff. So I actually got slated back then for not being critical enough of a new Call of Duty game. And the funny thing is, I did always really enjoy the games I was playing. And as Call of Duty started to get worse, I moved on to other things anyway. But it's funny because I am actually now quite vocal if something isn't good, because sometimes they just make idiotic decisions and you've got to put a voice across, because if you aren't saying something, they're never going to change it. And hashtag trending worldwide was like reverse turbo building, which is this thing where if you hold down a build in Fortnite, and you like spin around or move around, it will auto place that building wherever you're looking. So you don't have to be like place. You hold it down. And they basically added a 1/10 of a second delay, and it ruined everyone's building, and the whole community was up in arms. And after
Claire's equally as like upset about it. I can tell.
Totally.
After the back of them changing mechs and everything, like, So this is the issue. This is what it actually comes down to, is the fact that Fortnite have hit such big numbers, and they're a company, and there's people in the directors' boards that are like, we need to see a constant upwards trend, which is an issue with all companies. They're never happy with, we're here, maintaining here is good enough. They always need to see bigger numbers. So how do you see bigger numbers? You bring in more players. Their issue is that because people like me and even better people than me have been playing since day one are so good, if you jump into a lobby with only one or two of those really good players in your game, you are always going to get killed by them if you're not a very good player. So they've got internal stats that we don't see. They probably were seeing a decline in newer players picking up the game, or their bigger issue was newer players not playing for long enough. They were playing, being killed, and then just giving up. That they put these things in to allow the worser players to get a few kills, feel like they're having fun, and stick with the game. But then what do you get? You get an uproar from all the really good players complaining about the things that are helping the worst players. So you've got a split community. And this is the same for big games and other companies, is a split in an audience and trying to make everyone happy. So that's their issue to try and solve. But it's in a state where the community is very split. And what they want from the game isn't necessarily what the vocal minority, because you've got to remember that all of us online are in the minority compared to the number of players, what we want. So they're in a tough position where they're trying to probably please someone on their board to bring in more new players, but adding in more newbie things that are easy to get kills, which we hate.
Like mechs.
Like mechs. There you go.
Yeah. Like giant robots that can just blast you in one rocket, whatever.
That's basically it, yeah.
Yeah, my Twitter feed is literally full of
You're
Fortnite.
Probably sick of it. You're like, all right, I'm unfollowing you guys.
But it's interesting seeing, like, as you mentioned, like, casual players as well as, like, professionals alike. You're seeing a lot of, like, really interesting, mixed opinions on how they can improve the games. This is kind of like what I guess when you have a multi-billion-dollar company now, as big as they are, you're gonna have to deal with kind of like the repercussions of patches and stuff that you put out there, really. So.
And it's interesting because Clare's Sims is very similar. You don't get a Sims every year like you did Call of Duty. Gaming releases were, say they release their game every year or few years, and it would get updated sometimes, like maybe 2 or 3 times. That's literally how many post-release updates it'd get. Sims is good because it gets a load of packs, it gets a load of little additions to the game to give it that, 5-year lifespan?
Yeah, although this one's going to be more than 5.
Yeah, so even longer. So, and then Fortnite have adopted the same thing. It's not like next year is going to be Fortnite 2. It's like, this is Fortnite and we're going to update it a lot. And that's the shift in games, is giving consistent, good, strong updates which keep the game fresh. There's so much more post-release support now than there was on games 5 years ago. And it's good for us for content creation because it means we've got loads of things to make videos on. But that old school style of just releasing a game, spending £50 and then just like maybe playing it for a few months and then waiting for the next one, it's all changing within the gaming community.
Big time. I want to talk about a bit about your kind of life as well as influencers and stuff when it comes to superstardom as well. You've reached those highs, guys. You've reached those highs. Does he gets really embarrassed, doesn't he? No. I'm just gonna say, like, do you still find, along the journey that you've been on, have you been starstruck at all many times? Is there people that you want to meet and things that you want to do in the future that you're kind of excited, you want to kind of explore one day? Or didn't you go to the Star Wars premiere?
Yeah,
that was I was super jealous of that.
That was really cool. There was a lot of big celebrities, but the thing is, I'm not really into like mainstream music or TV or film celebs. Like, if someone said, who's that person? I'm like, I don't really know. And I guess because I've had people come up to me, if I see someone else that's famous, I'm like, that's cool, So I think if I see other YouTubers, I get more excited because I'm like, oh, they're, I know them. They do things like me. Like, I want to go say hello to them. Like, that's cool. So
neither of us are really the like get starstruck by celebrities thing. It's, I think, more the stuff we want to do is we want to do a lot of travel stuff. So we've booked to go to Seoul and bring both of our brothers to South Korea,
that's
like
amazing.
In October, and that's the kind of things that get us the most excited. I think there's a lot of stuff we want to do. Experiences more so than meeting people. I would not like old people, like celebrity people, like kind of thing.
Our like plan is, because the gaming side of YouTube is rigorous. It is everyday content because you can put out good content every day. Each niche in YouTube is limited by the how much you can put out and how good the production is. And gaming is you can put out 1, 2, 3 videos every day because it's such an easy thing to record. Some people not so much, but that's why you see the rise of PewDiePie and you see big gamers on YouTube because they can put out so much content so regularly compared to, say, I don't know, interviews or even a podcast like this. Like, you can't smash out a podcast every day. Like you can't get enough guests or organize it. It's different. But we have been doing daily videos for a while now. So our mission is to move more towards our joint channel, which is more family lifestyle focused with, at the moment, we're aiming for, we don't stick to it at the moment, but just 1 video a week. So the upload schedule is far less. And then our secondary focus will be the gaming stuff. So not quite as much content, but it means then if we want to jump on a plane and go to Korea, we can take our cameras with us and do something out there, and then that is our weekly video sorted for that channel.
Plus, where we are in our lives, like we're engaged now, we want to get like married next
year. I'm so excited.
But like long term, like you've got a baby. If we've got kids, are we going to be able to produce daily gaming videos each and get the life balance that we want with our it's just. That YouTube will never, like the format that YouTube's created and anyone be able to watch anything online and anyone be able to upload stuff online rather than TV, that's not going anywhere, whether it stays on YouTube or not. But for the people that make it, that's their lifespan, I guess, is more, their online lifespan is when they kind of want to take a step back. So it's always on your mind, I think. And especially as you move forward in your life and your goals change, that will change too.
Well, I mean, it's so refreshing, the fact that you guys have clearly got your head screwed on. You know exactly what the next, inevitably when you have kids and get married and stuff, things do change like this. And that's the thing, is the platform is still so new that you're kind of the first ones kind of doing this. No one's really done it before and seen the kind of like the progression of how things go. I mean, obviously there are big targets being hit as well. Like PewDiePie hit 100 million this week and stuff.
Incredible.
I mean, between you, 24 and a half you must be kind of happy with that.
It's not bad.
It's not,
we'll
but
take
it's fine. But no, I'm really pleased that things are going so well. It's as I said, it's amazing having you both here. I've loved every single second
of
it.
Thank you.
Hopefully the cupcakes are all right.
Yeah, we are going to eat those guys.
Yeah,
Don't feel like we're
I'm going to join them.
They're going to be eaten as puddings for the next few days, I reckon. Yeah.
They've been looking at me for an hour. So
Adam can't have any.
Thank you. That's nice. That's nice. And I mean, Evie is there, has a great
Evie
great
will
time
have
too.
a few.
So.
She's been very well behaved.
She has been super chill.
Well done, Evie.
That's the most
Best
chill dog
guest.
ever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for
Loved
having
every
us.
second.
Thank
My
you
pleasure.
for having
And
us.
here's to the future, and here's to the stag do alley. I'm excited. I've just invited myself. It probably won't happen, but yeah, all the best for the future, guys. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And I've loved having you on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.